James T. Kirk, Paul Wesley, and Captain Christopher Pike, Anson Mount, were two characters in Star Trek Strange New Worlds that further muddled the franchise's mythology. Episode 6 of Strange New Worlds Season 3, The Zealot Who Ate Its Tail, which was masterfully directed by Valerie Weiss, features James Kirk, who has been largely missing. The sixth episode of Star Trek, Strange New Worlds begins with James Kirk's personal journal, in which he bemoans the routine of the USS Farragut's ongoing planetary survey expedition. Kirk's desire for additional action is immediately fulfilled when the Farragut is crippled by an explosion on the adjacent planet, seriously wounding Captain Vrel, Zoe Doyle. Kirk then has to function as acting captain in his capacity as first officer. Soon after, the USS Enterprise shows there to help, but Kirk finds it difficult to handle the demands of command. In a magnificent scene at the end of the episode, Captain Pike sits down with Kirk to give him advice. This contradicts Captain Kirk's, William Shatner, assertion in The Menagerie of Star Trek the original series that he had only met Pike after he was promoted to fleet captain. According to Captain Kirk in The Menagerie, Pike is merely a casual friend. Of course, Kirk knows about Pike's achievements as Enterprise's captain, but he didn't know about Pike's terrible accident, even if it had occurred months before. Kirk's claim that he hardly knew Pike was already complicated by Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2, but their scenes together in The Zealot Who Ate Its Tail highlight the disparity even more. Kirk and his crew discover that the scavenger ship that wrecked the Farragut was composed of humans derived from Earth astronauts after they successfully destroy it. Kirk is shaken by this heartbreaking revelation and acknowledges that he didn't recognize the scavengers as human beings until it was too late. In the last scene of the show, Pike visits Kirk and gives him advice regarding command and the difficult choices that captains occasionally have to make. This scene alone makes it very evident that Kirk and Pike have a longer history together than was suggested in TOS, and they already seem to respect and trust one another. Although there have been multiple instances of official Star Trek canon being amended by Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, most of these alterations have been positive. Star Trek, the original series, was not particularly concerned with creating a canon that would last for many years to come, since the television landscape of the 1960s was considerably different from that of today. Given that James Kirk retained many of the same crew members in his Enterprise crew, it makes more sense from a realistic standpoint that he would know Captain Pike pretty well. It is appropriate that Captain Kirk would seek to Pike as a mentor as The Zealot Who Ate Its Tail examines his still emerging command style. It makes reasonable that Kirk would ask Pike for counsel as a young officer who will eventually lead the Enterprise, and that Pike would want to know the man taking over his ship. The relationship between the two Enterprise captains is already far more intriguing in Star Trek, Strange New Worlds than it was in Star Trek, the original series, but Kirk will soon adopt a leadership style that differs greatly from Pike's. Thank you for watching. Please, subscribe.